Alright, we are on the play with Rug Delver. We can get a Steam Vents and cast a Serum Vision, so I do think this hand is a keep. Shoal's going to help us interact on the early turns, especially if we fail to hit some land drops. And we do have a couple threats lined up, so I do think this is a 7 that I like. I'd prefer if one of these cards, say the Denial, the Shoal, or the Visions was a second land, but nothing we can do about that. Well, we found another land. Do I want the Tarfire? If we really want the Tarfire, we can not crack the Misty. Select a card to put on top. The last one's topmost. That we want to be the Misty Rainforest. Go to end step. We probably don't bother waiting to draw the Tarfire, but maybe we want to. We're not going to give ourselves some card disadvantage to counter a turn 1 Serum Visions. It's just too likely that that hurts us. If our opponent mulled to 4 or 5 or something like that, then maybe we do it because it's more likely that the Visions is being used to fix their mana or threats or something to that effect. But with that many cards, it's just pretty unlikely that that's the case. For us, it was the case. But then again, we're playing an 18 land deck with a bunch of cantrips, so that's something we generally do. I don't think there are many Delver decks around right now. In fact, there really aren't. We probably just get a breeding pool here. Get double blue. Double blue seems good. I do believe we want to just slam this Goyf. We can go Delver, hold up Denial, but that doesn't seem great. We at least get to hold up Shoal with this move. We can even pitch the Delver if we really want, given that we already have Mandrills as a backup threat. If we don't want to pitch the Denial to counter whatever one CMC card they go for. Hopefully they grow the Goyf. Tarfire's gone. The reason I was thinking of keeping the Tarfire was because it does grow Goyf, and there are plenty of matchups where you want a 1 CMC burn spell. Then again, it's a pretty big tempo loss to not slam Goyf on 2. They have a Mountain into red mana. Nope. Electromancer. Okay. They're playing Storm. Tarfire is something I would very much like here. Unfortunately, I still think you use the Goyf. I'm pretty sure we just pitch Mana Leak. Yup. That spell. That card. That seems right. Mana Leak is just a counter anyways, and we have Denial for that if counters are what we need. Really, I want to get rid of that Electromancer. We can Visions, or we can apply more pressure with Delver. Right now, they're going to 14. If Delver transforms, we have a 2-turn clock, which is actually quite good. If Delver doesn't transform, we have a 3-turn clock, which is really still passable. As is, we have a 4-turn clock. 3-turn clock is a lot better, and a 2-turn clock would be fantastic. We still get to hold up Denial, so I like this play. We can't Denial that, unfortunately. On the bright side, if they go for a Manamorphose or something here, we can snag it with the Denial. They also might just pass the turn, hold up a Remand or something, try to go off on 4. I could see that. Looks like they're thinking about it. So what are we going to do next turn? If they don't play anything that we can Denial, we get to hold that up, which is nice. Really, I would like this Delver to transform, preferably off of a Lightning Bolt so we can deal with Brawl. Here's a Pyretic Ritual. That's going to make a lot of mana. If they have a bunch of rituals in hand, we're going to be probably dead to this. So I think we do counter it. I'd rather stop them cold. If they have 2 more rituals, if we let this resolve, they have 3 red. They can theoretically cast 3 rituals. If they cast 1 and then we denial that one, they still have 2 mana, which lets them cast a lot of stuff when they have Baral on board. So I do think we need to denial that. Lightning Bolt. Boy, oh boy, is that fortunate. I literally don't think we could have a better draw here. That is actually what I wanted. Literally asked for last turn when they played Brawl. So they're going to go down to 7, which is nice. We are going to take out the Brawl. Right now, we're not letting them untap with that thing on board. The question is, do we also cast Mandrills? Do we play Serum Visions? Or do we bluff? I don't think the bluff is very powerful. We have Lethal on board anyways, so the Mandrills isn't super relevant. I think we just want to look at more cards. I don't think we want the Goyf, but the Bolt could actually be good. So let's do that. If they go off here, we are going to die. If they don't go off here, we could very well be okay. Them starting on a Serum Visions makes me pretty happy, because it means they don't just have Cost Reducer in to kill us. It's not super likely that they can just kill us here, but it is definitely possible. Given that it was possible for them to do it last turn. Yeah, they're just taking out Aberration, which is A-okay. Oh, they actually... No, it's just the one. Okay. I was going to say, they might be casting 3 Grape Shots. Fortunately, we have a Bolt on top of our library. And Goyf happens to put them down to 3. Really, I wanted Bolt in case they played a Cost Reducer so that we could take it out, but the fact that Bolt can go to the face is definitely not lost on me. That's why we play Bolt. And that'll do for game 1 against Storm. How do we sideboard against Storm? It is a very good matchup in my opinion, so we don't sideboard too heavily. I want Pyroclasm because it can take out Electromancers in a pinch and is amazing against Empty the Warrens. Engineered Explosives is something I'm at least considering. It's very slow to deal with Cost Reducers, but it certainly deals with them. And it's also another card that's good against tokens. I don't want Blood Moon. Their mana base is pretty streamlined, and they actually play Blood Moon. Vapor Snag seems bad. Revelry is not great now that they aren't playing Pyromancer's Ascension. Ancient Grudge is bad. Spell Snare's good. Staticaster is another way to deal with the tokens, but it's actually slower than Explosives at that. It can team up with a Forked Bolt or Tarfire to take out a Brawl. So that's at least something. I don't think we're going to bring it in. Rejection seems bad due to a lack of colorless spells in their deck. We already don't want Blood Moon, and Huntmaster's really just too slow. The life gain's not super relevant. Excuse me. Storm kills you with a lot of damage left over often, so I don't really care about gaining 2 life. I'd rather not have 4 drops in my deck, so we're looking to board 3 to 5 cards in. If you have Surgical Extraction in your sideboard, this is a very good time to board it in. It's not amazing against them. Really, any Graveyard Hate. If you're running Graveyard Hate, you board it in against Storm. You don't need Graveyard Hate, but it certainly helps. I don't run it because I'd rather hedge against other matchups. I think most of the Graveyard matchups are at least even for us. Dredge is even, maybe a little bad, but I do think Dredge is even, so I don't run any Graveyard Hate. Most of the Graveyard combo decks are great because Clock plus Counterspell, but if you do have Graveyard Hate in your board, you should definitely be boarding it in here. I believe I usually take out 1 Traverse, a Forked Bolt, not a Lightning Bolt. Tarfire I keep for Goyf, 1 Snapcaster Mage, and a Vapor Snag. Now, normally I board in roughly 4 cards, which I think are going to be these right now. Are there any cards here that are bad against them? I want all the velocity I can get off of Thought Scour, all of the counters. I like to take out 1 Traverse because it is more late game oriented. Knuckleblade actually can go, but I think I'd rather have Knuckleblade than Staticaster when we have 3 ways to deal with tokens. So I think we're just going to submit this. The 1 Traverse I like to leave in because it does help us fix our mana. Right now, Traverse is not very good at all. Are we going to keep this? We have Fetch, Visions, Actually, I might not want to crack this right away, because we might actually want to get a basic forest instead of a breeding pool. I kind of want to mulligan this hand. It's a little slow, it doesn't have relevant disruption. How soon can we play this Mandrills? Fetch 1 card in the bin, Visions 2 cards in the bin, and then we have 2 lands on turn 2. That's a turn 3 Mandrills. I don't like it. I'd rather have this. This hand is so much better. It's by no means good, but it is a lot better. We're going to go turn 1 Visions off of a Steam Vents. Try to fix our mana a little bit. Turn 2, we're probably bolting a cost reducer. We have Pyroclasm for the tokens. We have Denial in case that's relevant. One thing this hand is bad against is Blood Moon, which they most certainly run. I like being able to stop the Blood Moon, but sometimes you just can't. This is one of those cases where we can't. We're going to get the Steam Vents. I want blue now, and I definitely want red, even if they Blood Moon. Island's amazing. I don't think we want more of those. Island is actually a really good draw. They could still very well lock us out of the game with Blood Moon, but a lot more of our draws are live thanks to that. They don't have the cost reducer yet. I'm pretty sure we bottomed this on the scry, shuffled our deck to get the Steam Vents, and then drew it after drawing the island and scrying a mountain and bolt to the bottom. So that's pretty fantastic. I don't believe we want to play this. I'm just going to wait. If they have a cost reducer, we're going to bolt it. If they go for anything fishy, we'll try to denial it. Especially a turn 3 Blood Moon. Blood Moon doesn't stop us cold here, but it certainly is bad for us. They're not doing anything, so they're probably working towards sculpting their hand. We'll Visions here and try to do the same. Green Source is good. Another Visions is something I like. Let's play that. I think we want to wait to draw the Visions, but if we need to tap 2 lands, we'll do it. Really, I'd like to draw the Visions. Scalding Tarn for a Desperate Ritual now I think is okay. I'm not sure what they're going for. They're making mana. What? Oh, gifts. They're going for gifts. That's fine then. We let that resolve and then we deny all the gifts ungiven. If they had another ritual, we would have gotten a little punished here. As is, this worked out pretty nicely for us. That is, if they go ritual, 4 mana, ritual again to get down to up 3, 5 mana, and then they can gifts through denial. In which case we would have wanted to denial the first ritual, but I think what we did was fine. Tarn, yep. If they get a cost reducer, we're just going to get rid of the Serum Visions and go for the bolt. Desperate Ritual, we can't interact with that, so unfortunately we just let it resolve. We could very well lose here. It's not super likely though. Ritual into Ritual, they're going to have a lot of mana. Hopefully they don't have the cards they need. They have a lot of mana. What are they doing here? Maybe they're just going for an Empty the Warrens, which is basically going... Oh, wow. Past in Flame's very good here. Past in Flame's doing serious amounts of work here. So they're going to ritual a bunch more times. Probably Gifts Ungiven, and then grab a Storm spell off of it. That's what I would do. Not that I'm actually a Storm pilot, but I have played the deck once or twice before it started playing Gifts. So I know something about Storm, and I do play against it pretty often. It's actually quite popular. Ritual again. Storm count is 8. I don't think they can get high enough to actually kill us with a Grape Shot here, so they probably have to just empty the Warrens, which is really unfortunate for them. Pyroclasm, Pyroclasm. Engineered Explosives would like to say hello to that plan. Now, if we didn't have one of those Empty the Warrens would be extremely good here. It just so happens that we did plan for this. It's not exactly a secret that Storm likes to board into Empty the Warrens. They have exactly 3 mana left. Let's see what they give us the choice of. If we do deal with the Empty the Warrens, they're going to need to gas back up. So I believe I'm pretty happy to give them Rituals here. Manamorphose, of course, is a card I don't want to give them because it fixes mana and draws cards. And given that they have no cards in hand, I don't want to give them too many cards. So I'd rather give them straight Rituals. We're going to see what they offer us, though. Past in Flames, Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose. I believe we just give them the Rituals here. Put Past in Flames in the graveyard. They have 3 mana, so they're going to use one of the Rituals, go to 4 mana. The other Ritual, go to 5. If they flash back a Past in Flames, they're out of gas. So cards in graveyard are these 2. I believe I did that right. Might not have. They have 2 Rituals in hand. That's what we know. Here's one of them. Down 2, up 1. Or down 2, up 3, net up 1. They're at 4. Last Ritual, they go up to 5 mana. And I think that's it. I don't think they can do anything else. These cards don't have flashback. This has flashback, but they don't have any blue. Past in Flames has flashback, but it costs the rest of their mana. Storm counts 11, but that won't do yet. I'm not sure what our opponent's planning here. I think they should have just kept those 2 Rituals in hand to try going off next turn. I really don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know why they did that. If I did my math right, then they are really out of gas. Like, actual nothing in the tank. Past in Flames just gives flashback for this turn, yes. So they can't use this Past in Flames now and then try to go off with the Rituals again next turn. I'm probably just going to pause the recording until they start to do stuff, because I have a feeling we're going to be thinking for a while. They just passed the turn, so we're going to go to us, draw the Serum Visions. Let's fetch. Do we want Island or Breeding Pool? I think we want a green source. Double red is something we actually might want because of all of these. Let's Visions here. I'm pretty okay with Shocking because I wanted to draw a threat. And I actually think we're going to leave both of these here so that next turn we can go for Delver. I kind of want to put this on 2. Although it's not super relevant. It costs 2 mana to crack anyways. I think we just pass to them. There's really nothing for us to do here. They drew 1 card in hand. Passing the turn. I don't think we want to go Bolts to the face yet. Let's just play Delver. They're going to take a while to sculpt their hand back up, so I'm pretty happy with just waiting here. We don't need to be too proactive, although we definitely need to be somewhat proactive. Delver into Thought Scour is pretty good, though. That is a 6-turn clock. 4 if we use these bolts proactively. We're going to be Thought Scouring ourselves on the end of the turn. Here is a Serum Visions. They're probably cracking first. Yep, there it is. That's fine. Do I want to Thought Scour them after they Visions? They use their graveyard a lot, so that's probably not as good as it could be. They are being very cognizant of their life total, which is a pretty good idea. Especially if they don't expect to be going off this turn. Visions hits the bin. Here's a Baral. Pretty sure we're just going to Lightning Bolt that. Almost positive we're just going to Lightning Bolt that. Unfortunately for our opponent, we had a lot of time to sculpt a nice hand too. Although we actually had a very nice hand to start with, so that was good. What do we have in the graveyard? We milled a Misty. Island means blood mooning us out of the game basically is impossible. It also means that we have the mana for Hasty Nux. So I believe what we're going to do, swing with Delver, put them down to 11. We're going to play another Delver, hold up Lightning Bolt, possibly bolt them on the end step, and then Hasty Nux to try to close this game out. They're at 11. If we bolt them, they go down to 8. It's an Electromancer, so we're not doing that. We're just going to bolt the Electromancer, I think. So this is going to give them 3 mana. They'll have access to 5. They can Past in Flames. Oh, they can do better. This gives them 3 mana. Past in Flames will only cost 4. They'll have 1 mana left, and they'll start ritualing. That means it's time to take out the Brawl. The Electromancer. We're going to let the Pyretic resolve because it does basically nothing. They can cast Past in Flames, but that's literally it. Bolt not going to face means they get 1 more turn. We might actually not want to Hasty Nux. I actually think we play the EE on 2 so that we can take out cost reducers on their turn. Because that's basically the only way I see them beating us here. Even better, we get to look at their top card. Can we actually... We can't Hasty Nux. We need red, green, blue. That's unfortunate. We're going to look at their top card anyways. I'm not really going for the Delver Scry here. I want to know what they're going to draw. I think I want to play Knuckleblade. If they mana Morphos, they just fix their mana, then they top deck a cost reducer and we're fine. So I think we're just going to present lethal. If they have the cost reducer, they can't win. If they don't have the cost reducer, I don't think they can win anyways. Basically, if they have the cost reducer, they can't win, so EE actually doesn't matter. We top decked a Delver, which also is basically irrelevant. Here's the Metamorphose. What do they have? They are drawing a card, deciding what mana they want. Blue and red. What did they draw? Is it good? Does it get them out of this? Because we can activate Nux, taking out our Delver doesn't actually get lethal off of the table. So even if they have something like a Lightning Bolt, which they do board into, that doesn't help them. We go to us. That's fine. I believe we have this. I'll show them a Tarfire. That means we have this to an even greater degree. I don't believe there's a card in their deck that saves them here. And there we go. Rug Delver versus Storm. That was fun. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.